What's up, y'all? Shook here, back with another video on the Preservation Evoker, doing some 2v2 with Sorgol on his Enhancement Shaman. This is the first Preservation Evoker video I have ever made, and yeah, I've been having a ton of fun on Preservation this season. Their 4-set is really strong, so these games were a little bit lower MMR than the Holy Priest and the Holy Paladin. I don't think Enhancement Shaman's all that great in 2v2, but we still made it work and we had some fun. We also ran into a lot of warriors, which we weren't running into on the other comps we were playing. But yeah, I just really like Preservation because it's all about output. So you lose, deep into dampening because you're basically all output. You have like 1 or 2 abilities where you can reduce damage, but your healing output is really strong. They're also really fun in Battleground Blitz. And I'm going to use the Oppressive Roar here, so he's going to take increased CC. I'm going to interrupt the Priest. He is going to fear me, but he's still very low. We do get the swap and Apotheosis, and it looks like he also goes Spirit Form here, and you can see I'm just playing really, really aggressive in all these. And he's not killing a Counter-Strike. It looks like Counter-Strike is still down, and I think right here we're going to take him down. Yeah, we do take him down. I don't know. The Priest looked like he was casting Divine Hymn in Guardian. Yeah, so we're about 1930 MMR for these games, so about 120 MMR, 50 MMR, 150, lower than the mains, so not terrible. So right here, I'm just going to kind of float back and forth, try and dodge the polymorphs, let Sorgol interrupt some of the polymorphs. I do have my interrupt available, but I might want to try and save it. I'm still getting used to cooldown management on the Preservation Evoker. I will say it's one of the most important healers to where if you misuse your cooldowns, you will pretty much just lose. It's not very complex in terms of like the amount of buttons you have, but like when you use your buttons is really, really important, and that's what makes it hard. Sometimes I noticed in these games I was like overreacting with what I was doing, and it would cause us to, lose the game, whereas like other healers, can be a lot more forgiving with what you do. So right here I interrupt the polymorph, and I'm just trying to disintegrate, and you can see if I am able to keep using the essence to disintegrate, that I will never run out of mana compared to the other healers, which is kind of fun. And we're doing a ton of damage to this mage right here, and then I've dodged almost every poly with hover. Sleptwalk the priest there, so he is on DR. I'm going to try and hit this mage with the fire breath. It was actually a full fire breath using the disintegrate, and we're just kind of pumping damage out. We did get the apotheosis right here. I don't think I can dodge the fear. I do trinket, but I think Sorgol actually trimmered me, so that was a bad trinket. I shouldn't have trinketed there. And we do get the block anyway. And right here, I also see that's what I was talking about, misusing cooldowns. Kind of definitely overreacted there. Should not have used time dilation at all. So right here, I'm going to try and get probably the Oppressive Roar. I do have Emerald Communion, but he went ahead and burrowed, and he's not in any like big danger anyway. So right here's the Power Infusion, so it looks like they're going to go for some big damage. He did wind shear that poly. I do have my kick, so I'm going to kick the second poly. I'm going to try and use the Oppressive Roar. I did get them both into a deep breath, and then hopefully into a sleepwalk here. So I do get the sleepwalk. Now he does trinket. Sorgol roots him, and I'm going back to tether next to him, and I do get polyed, but I go ahead and Emerald Communion because we're gonna get the kill right here. They're pretty much all out of cooldowns, yeah. So that was just kind of a precautionary that Emerald Communion was, I don't know, almost like BM. So right here, we're facing another warrior. It's a Fury Warrior, and he's running Spear of Bastion, so we haven't seen that. He pops Avatar, so I do go ahead and give Sorgol a defensive. I'm going to Dream Breath off that. I probably should have echoed that Dream Breath. And yeah, like I said, still learning a lot on the Preservation Evoker. There's plenty of times I've noticed where I should have echoed certain abilities instead of, the ones that I did echo. And I don't have my 4-set yet in this video. I think since this video has been uploaded, I have gotten it afterwards. But right here, you can see Sorgol taking a ton of damage. The Slaughterhouse stacks getting up to like 8. And I'm going to try and sleep the priest. It looked like, yeah, he did trinket that right there. I get feared. So I do go ahead and Emerald Communion just because Sorgol is up to 12 stacks of Slaughterhouse, and he's just getting destroyed. So you can see Emerald Communion didn't even pick him up there. I do have Rescue available. So right here, I should probably rescue him just to try and get those stacks off. and but I'm just playing really aggressive, doing damage. I think right here I should probably rescue him around the corner, especially if he gets stunned. So yeah, there we go. I do rescue him away from the ultimate penitence, and we were able to actually get the stacks off, so that's really, really good. Sorgol does Bloodlust, and I'm just casting Disintegrate over and over again. I'm going to do the Oppressive Roar, and I don't know if Sorgol trinketed that or whether I dispelled him, but we got quite a bit of pressure right there. I'm going to, oh, we both kicked that, so that's unfortunate. So overlap on the kicks. We weren't in Discord for this, so you can see a lot of the stuff. Sometimes we overlap, but that's just, you know, not being in Discord. Sometimes you do that. And it looks like, again, he's popping Avatar. I have 26 seconds left on my damage reduction cooldown, so I can't use that. I also don't have Emerald Communion. I do have Dream Breath back up, and I'm going to hit Sorgol with that Dream Breath into a Living Flame. I'm going to dispel the Mind Games off of him. He does get the Hex, so if I can sleep off this Hex, it'll be really good. So I do get the sleep, and now I am just about to try and pump damage into this warrior. Like, I'm going for the kill, and Sorgol, I think, is trying to cut off the Slaughterhouse stacks. He's at 9. The warrior does charge out of the barrier there, so he's going to be taking increased damage. Look, he was thinking about running back, and we do take him down. So kind of a tough one, considering we don't have too many ways to kite the warrior and get those Slaughterhouse stacks off. Right here is another warrior, and this one is a Resto Druid as the healer and arms warrior. So I am running Scouring Flame versus pretty much every Resto Druid, because you can take a lot of their hots off. Unless they have, if you're watching this in the future and they somehow nerf it, but they haven't yet. So it's really, really nice because, so right there, I did it a little too early. You want to wait for them to overgrowth, or, you know, anything that applies multiple hots at a time. I'm going to stun this guy, and I'm just kind of doing damage to him. He did Iron Bark him, and it looks like he's trying to CC Sorgol over here. I do lock him. Probably should have saved that for Cyclone. Sorgol does stun him. I honestly think, like, the better play for us is to probably just go for the warrior and CC the Resto Druid. Try and get sleepwalks and stuff like that. And it looks like Sorgol is going to swap here. I do get the sleep on that Cyclone, but we do get stunned. I don't really like that Emerald Communion there. I think I was just going trigger happy since we were really early in the thing, kind of trying to get him off me, but that was just, I don't know, that was a really bad Emerald Communion. I do have Fire Breath back up, so with that Scouring Flame, when I Fire Breath, it's going to remove off pretty much all his hots. And right there, he's pretty much, then he does get overgrowthed. So really, ideally, what you want to do is wait for the overgrowth. But we did get Die by the Sword, so we got a few cooldowns there. It looked like I used another big cooldown right there. I do have Dream Breath available, so I'm going to Dream Breath and hopefully hit us both. Trying to kind of get away from the Resto Druid. He does stun me, but it's DR, so I'm okay. Looks like this Resto Druid is playing the Feral build over the Boomkin build, which I think almost all of them do. And he has the Heart of the Wild PvP talent. So right here, I'm going to try and take off some of the hots, since this time it looks like I did actually wait for him to get them all up. He does use Iron Bark. If we can combine that with Sorgol's offensive dispel, it's really, really strong. So right here, I think he did Sharpen, but I'm going to try and rescue Sorgol since the Sharpen is going. And he's going to get the clone on Sorgol, unfortunately. But I do get the sleep on him, and I'm just going to try and do damage here. I do have the Fire Breath combo back up. I do hit him with it, but again, just a little too early. I should have held it. Man, I didn't notice that during the game, but now watching it back, it's kind of crazy how many times I should have just like held it just a little bit longer, and we would have had kill pressure. Sorgol, I thought he interrupted that clone, but apparently he didn't. It looked like he did on my screen. I do have my interrupt back up, and I also do have a Oppressive Roar, so if I can get the combo, which it looks like I'm going to go for it right here. This is a long one, he can dodge it, but I am going to sleep him off that. So I do sleep him, and it looks like he has Die by the Sword back up, unfortunately. We do almost have Emerald Communion back up. It's only 50 seconds. So I think right here, we should win even just on mana at this point, as long as I'm able to cast like more Disintegrates. So I'm going to Fire Breath here. I do Fire Breath most of his hots off, but him sitting in D stance and using Ignore Pain is going to be really hard for me to take him down by myself. He's going to Blade Storm on top of us. So we're kind of getting low here. I need to Dream Breath. I'm going to Dream Breath, hit both of us. I don't know if I echoed that, but I definitely should have. It's right there. I hit him for 140k. That's like what I'm talking about. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, with the 4-set, that being, like, empowered is kind of insane. So there's the Cyclone on Sorgol. He uses Iron Bark again. He is going so I think now we can go to the strategy of like swapping around, kind of like what we were doing at the beginning. I think with the, and maybe not, but there is a way where you can run a build for Druid where you can get mana back whenever you use like offensive abilities in Boomkin or Feral. So I should be able to, I didn't have interrupt for that one, but I'm going to hit him with the Fire Breath and it should take him down, yeah. So kind of some fun games. I don't know, I'm really liking Preservation Evoker, hoping to play it a little bit more this season. Hope you guys enjoyed these games. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, helps me out a ton. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.